just wanted to hop on just a few minutes just to talk about Yes, God, Volume 3, Deep Loss, Great Gain. Share with us what made you come up with that title for your chapter.
My title is A Blessing in Disguise. After I'd written the story, I was trying to think of an appropriate title, and that's the one that kept coming back to me. And the reason why is because you couldn't tell that it was a blessing, of course, when you were going through it or when it started. You have all sorts of questions and deep feelings. And I got toward the end and looking back, and I could see how God worked so many things together. Like he was basically orchestrating this. And toward the end, I can see how he put it together. I couldn't see it on the front end, but it was a blessing for me everywhere and everything that happened and where I am sitting right now today. It's a blessing, but it was disguised in the beginning because you have to have faith and walk through it. And looking back is a lot easier than looking forward, but it was definitely a blessing in disguise.
Amen. And so, what was it for anybody that doesn't know what your journey was? What was that it?
I was diagnosed with cancer. It was a shocker. It was surreal. You're in shock, not knowing what to do, but it was the beginning of a journey that I never thought I would have to take. God had a plan.
Tell us a little bit about why you saw it as a blessing in disguise.
God put so many people in my path, strangers even, and in the strangest places that are now lifelong friends. I think it's unfortunate that cancer is so pervasive. You knew somebody that had cancer, but you never think that it will come to your front door. I never thought it would come to mine.
Right.
It's kind of like a young person that thinks they'll never die. You think you'll live forever. And then all of a sudden, you're faced with a disease that could take your life. Anything could take your life, quite frankly, but it's very sobering. You just have to figure out what your next step will be, if that makes sense.
What do you hope someone gets out of your chapter?
I think the book as a whole, as well as my chapter, will help someone to meet God. Even if you already know God, we all live and we all die. And there's a lot that happens to us in between. Many trials, many storms, many valleys. They say either you're going into a valley or you're coming out of one. And sometimes you need someone to talk to. And sometimes you need answers, but you don't want to talk to anybody. Wouldn't it be great to have a reference where you can talk to people who've been through your situation? And there are multiple situations in the book. Mine happens to be about cancer. And if you could just turn the pages in your own silent room and experience or see what someone else has experienced and maybe get answers to questions you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
I had the benefit of having someone either face to face or on the telephone or just a meeting of someone that I didn't know in advance. But sometimes, why not pull out a book if you have it? And you may not be going through anything right now, but you will be going through something, some type of trial, some type of sorrow, some type of heartbreak.
Yeah.
Why not meet God in a book as well?
Amen. Why not meet God on the pages? I love that. Powerful. Was there ever a time in this journey for you, Cathy, where you thought about telling God no? You know, I
Yes, there were times where I didn't want to go through this.
Yeah.
There were times that were painful. Many people say, how can you go through this and you always have a smile? Sometimes you get energy from other people as well, people that God has put in your path. And there were times when I wasn't smiling. There were times when I was curled up on the floor in a fetal position in pain.
Yeah.
But you take the good with the bad, right? Because the bad was short lived and the good definitely outweighed it. If he had asked me, do you want to go through this journey? I would say no. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to go through the journey again. But if I did, it's not that I'm thankful for the cancer. I'm thankful for what happened while I was going through the cancer. I'm thankful in it
Yeah.
because I see so much more now than I did before. If he asked me, then that's what I have to do. At some point, none of us know our futures, but we all know that at some point we will not be here. The worst thing that can happen is really the best thing that can happen because you'll be with him.
Amen.
If you know him.
Yeah. A lot of times I was not smiling and
I
was on the
understand.
floor in a fetal position, but those are those moments when no one else is around except God. So when you get up from that fetal position, I don't think it's us getting up in our own strength. It's the Christ in us.
Amen.
Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. One of the things I've learned is that it wasn't my battle, it was his, and it wasn't my strength, it was his. Everything you saw in me, he put it there. It wasn't me,
Amen.
because had he not been there, you would have seen something completely different.
Amen. Ooh, we could leave right on that note.
Yeah,
Amen. Amen.
yeah, every day. Okay, like that song. From the moment that I wake up
Yes.
until
Jesus.
I will sing of the goodness of God. Every day.
Yes. Okay. So you guys heard it. Chapter 1, and there is more to come. If you think chapter 1's interview with Cathy Ferrell was amazing, and it was, then wait till you hear our other interviews. And so, Cathy, I thank you so much for this brief interview.
Thank you.
Is
I
there
appreciate
anything, last few words that you want to say to anyone that's watching this video about your chapter, the book, anything?
what I'd like to say is that you're never alone. Even when you think you're alone, Jesus is there. And all you have to do is reach out to him. He's waiting for you. And regardless what your trial is, he has someone there or something there. He wants to reach out. He wants to hold you. He wants to hug you. You're in his hands. You're never alone. And he can make something that seems so terrible on the other end if you're willing to put faith over fear, because we can't see it, and that's what faith is. You're moving without seeing, without knowing, and you have to move forward. You don't give up. That was never an option for me. I never gave up, never would give up. But whatever his decision is in the end, that's his decision. But as long as you have hope, as long as you have belief, get the book, get some hope.
Yeah. Appreciate you. Wow. Thank you so much, Cathy. Thank you for your courage to share your journey in this
Thank you
book and
for the
and
opportunity.
and to write a chapter. God is just so good. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for tuning in and listening, and there's more to come. Bye.
Bye.
Coaching the whole person and going higher together with life coach and minister Michelle.